Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, you only pay mileage for the shortest possible trip? Okay, then you have to pay my tolls. You only pay mileage for the shortest possible trip? Okay, then you have to pay my tolls. An update. Time tracking salaried workers is ridiculous. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. You only pay mileage for the shortest possible trip? Okay, then you have to pay my tolls. At my job, every day I have to travel between two offices. I start at my main office, then have to travel to the second office, then back to my main office. Because I'm using my personal vehicle for this travel, the company pays me mileage. Well, there are basically two routes you can take between the two offices. One is about a mile round trip shorter, but has tolls. So I always took the 1 mile longer route and avoid the tolls. I did it this way for a year. Well, in comes the new bookkeeper, and she is hellbent on saving the company money. And where does she think all this wasteful money is going? Expense reports, obviously. So she starts nitpicking every report. Like if someone is out and has to buy some pens for work. She goes online and finds the cheapest price possible for those pens, and only reimburses for that cheaper price. It, obviously, has pissed several people off. Well, she eventually decided to target me. I submit my report for 2 weeks, and a few days later get the reimbursement payment. Well, it's $5.85 short. I ask her about it, and she says I've been ripping off the company for the past year by taking the longer route between the offices. She will only pay mileage for the shorter route from now on. And I'm lucky she doesn't go back and take back all the extra from the past year. I say okay, but to please send me that per her I must take the shorter route and that this is company policy and leave her office. Before I even made it to my desk, I had the email from her confirming what she said. 2 weeks later, I submit my expense report. I reported the shorter route, so the company saved $5.85. But tolls added up to $136. A net loss for the company of $130.15. It's been 6 months and I'm still taking the shorter route, costing the company an extra $130.15 every 2 weeks. You only pay mileage for the shortest possible trip? Okay, then you have to pay my tolls. An update. This extra cost to the company went on all last year. By my estimates, it cost the company about an extra $3,500 last year. So the third week of December we have our annual budget review with all the department heads. It's usually just a quick chit-chat about how things went over the year, then we all get a nice catered lunch. This year went a little different. First, Karen bookkeeper asked that we have a projector set up in the conference room so she could give a presentation on how much she has saved the company since she was hired at the beginning of the year. This was great for me. I prepared my own presentation. She starts off the meeting going over each department, going over the changes she has made to save money. Her big cherry on top of her savings was how much she has saved by cracking down on excess expense reimbursements. Now, I should say here that she is not liked by any of the department heads. Most of the employees have complained to their department heads about her bull, and they've been forced to just take the complaints with no power to do anything about it. I, on the other hand, am a one-person department. So, her presentation ends with a big hooray on how cutting down on expense reimbursements has saved the company a whole $3,500 last year. Then we start going over each department's budgets. Everything is going normally until they get to my budget. Wait, why is it so far over budget? My boss asks. And this is when my short PowerPoint gets played. I bring up the first slide. It's the slightly longer route I was taking between offices. I explained this was the route I was taking and what the mileage reimbursement was. The next slide was the new shorter route. I explained that Karen forced me to take this route because the mileage reimbursement was less, saving the company about $5.85 every 2 weeks, a little more after the mileage rate went up in July. Then I showed them the next slide of Karen's email. Included in that email is a part about this being final and there will be no further discussion on the matter. The final slide was all the toll reimbursements I was paid over the year, including the approximate total YTD that was a result of this new shorter route. I explained that had I been able to discuss the matter with Karen, I could have explained that the shorter route had these extra tolls. And I said that's the reason I'm so over budget this year. The room was silent for what seems like forever. Then the owners of the company asked everyone except Karen to step out of the room for a few minutes. When the door opened back up, Karen walked out silent, went to her desk and started packing up her things. That was the end of Karen. Time tracking salaried workers is ridiculous. My company decided to install time tracking software on everything a few years ago, but didn't make a big deal out of it. When asked, management said to not worry about it and keep doing your normal workday. Recently, time worked has become a bigger issue. HR is coming down hard on everyone I know. According to them, we are only working 50% or less of our required hours. This didn't make any sense, because the work is still getting done, and everyone is still online all day. Because of time being a bigger issue, I started tracking my time very carefully. I was logging over 9.5 hours of work a day, but only getting credit for maybe half that. Cue malicious compliance. I tested a bunch of different scenarios and learned what is tracked and what isn't. Scheduled meetings are always tracked. So now I am in a meeting every minute of my normal workday. And once I hit the 8-hour mark, no matter what I am doing, I drop it and quit for the day. This has started to affect how much is being done in total on a weekly basis. But I am finished with working for free. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.